man. We're just already getting the double finger. Haven't even started the reaction. Welcome to the Angry Asian channel. I mean, that's his channel name. The issue with the anime community. What is the issue, Angry Asian man? Oh, freaky. I would argue no one in the gym can actually ever hear that because everyone's too busy grunting anyways and got their fucking headphones on and the music's blasting anyways.
I got suspended for 3 days from my school, and I have 45 days of OIC.
Ever since 2020, anime, manga, and manhwa have seen astronomical rises in popularity. Like, they have never been more popular than today. Like, I'm pretty sure most of you guys have...
Yeah, I think there was a huge explosion of anime enjoyers during 2020 because everyone was, like, locked in, right? Everyone's inside. Basically, anything to do with, like, online activities, bro, it just went crazy. And anime is becoming more and more mainstream. It's becoming a lot more accepted compared to the 2010s. So yeah, at this current moment, I think anime is going crazy. And what happens when basically more people are enjoying stuff? More tourists are coming in. Bunch of new people who don't really understand, I guess, like the OG vibes of what anime is supposed to be has come in and are now discovering the degeneracy that a lot of the, I guess, the OG anime enjoyers just kind of choose to turn a blind eye to, mostly regarding fan service, lolicon stuff like that, right?
Have read a manga or manhwa, watched an anime, or at the very least, heard about it. Now, I'm pretty sure it doesn't take a genius to take one look at me and say, yeah, that motherfucker likes that. Yeah, you got me, man. I'm a yellow daffodil honey butter lemon complexion man. Like, I'm Asian, bro. Of course, I'm gonna love manhwa, manga, and anime. Like, I've been watching anime and reading manga before it was, like, mainstream, I guess. And I'm not trying to claim my OG tickets or anything. All I'm trying to say is that I still remember being...
I feel like you can't claim OG status unless you were born in, like, the 90s or 80s. Right? Because like I don't want to assume his age, but I feel like he's probably like Gen Z, really young, most likely under the age of what, 22, 23. Probably. Can you claim OG status if you're that young? Why not?
Like 7 years old, watching Rosaria Vampire on Netflix, hard as fuck. And naturally, when I fall in love with a bunch of different animes, mangas, and manhwas, I want to be a part of the fandom. You know, like who doesn't? I want to interact.
Me? I've never understood the fascination of people wanting to become part of a fandom. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just telling you from my personal perspective. Whenever I enjoy something, I guess like finding like a thread of people who also enjoyed the same episode to talk about it and to kind of like hear about what they had to say, right? And that's why also I think reactions, is such a popular thing because human beings, they yearn to want to connect to others whenever, they enjoy something, right? They want to share the same passions and hobbies together. But never really felt this need to be like, yeah, I'm this team, I'm that team, and they completely brand their entire identity off of an anime fandom. And you know what happens to those type of people on Twitter, bro?
Interact with other people that share the same interests and likes that I do.
Yeah.
Here's the problem, though.
Okay.
Why in the hell is every single fandom of every show, manga, or manhwa weird as fuck? Like, for...
I wouldn't say they're all weird, but it's just gonna be like, you're gonna have these outliers, right? Like, tribalism is the core of this thing. People will never be happy for other people. Like, when you're enjoying your own anime and someone else is enjoying something else, you feel the need to like shut them down and say, hey, why aren't you watching our anime? Why are you enjoying that anime that I don't know yet? And because I don't know and I feel like I'm not part of it, I feel like I'm missing out, and now I'm gonna be all defensive and basically shit on it. This is the behavior I see a lot online, right? And this doesn't represent the entire fandom, right? It's the vocal minority. It's a very loud, obnoxious, small group of people that go on to shit on other fandoms or just talk so fucking loudly in the worst way possible. And it just has to do with tribalism. You can't be happy for others. You constantly need to feel this like, oh, if you're not part of our team, then you're against this kind of deal.
Fuck. Like, for some reason, going into any fandom's Reddit page just feels like when you walk in on like a sex dungeon that you weren't supposed to see. Like, you'll just...
Have you been in that situation?
You'll just see 35 terabytes worth of Rule 34 hentai, your favorite characters getting penetrated by a tentacle monster. For some reason, all the straight characters are gay now, and then you'll just
MHA
see like a
ships.
random anime figurine covered in semen. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is going
Hot glue.
on, man? Is this a safe environment for me to be in?
I would argue that those are safe environments. Why are they safe environments? The fact that you're wilding out like that without having any fear of consequences, right? That truly shows that that fandom, that community is so down to be just openly degenerate, therefore it's already a safe space. And because of that, they most likely will not judge others for their weird behavior. So yeah, I would say it's a safe space.
I don't even want to interact with these people anymore. Like, there should be no reason why I'm going into like the solo leveling Reddit page trying to interact with other solo leveling fans, and like the first thing I see is like Sung Jin Woo's cock in my face. Like, okay, that's a
Is that an experience that's very relatable to you guys?
start. Like, I thought this dude said arise, not erect. Like, I did not want to see that. And before any of you guys go start saying, no, it's not every fan. No, it's every fandom, man. Like, they're all weird. Like,
Yeah, but you're labeling the entire fandom as weird, you know? Like, I guarantee you, vast majority of people who are part of a community or enjoys anime, they're just lurking and they're just enjoying and appreciating what exists, right? And I don't know, like, you'd have to do an actual fucking survey and do like statistical analysis. But I don't think more than 10% of people are truly out there representing the fandom in the weirdest fucking way possible, right? You're always gonna have bad faith actors, and the more bigger a community, the more, you know, big the fandom is. Of course, there's gonna be more insane people coming out and doing the same shit, right?
it does not matter how big or small the fandom is. I guarantee I can find Rule 34 of it in less than 30 seconds. And
Yeah, I agree with that. That's always gonna exist.
I know what I'm about to say might get a lot of hate from you guys, but I genuinely believe it. In my opinion, I feel like there are certain fandoms that can ruin an anime. Like, if an anime's fan base is way too weird, cringe, or corny, it'll just make me not want to watch it. Like,
I never understood that mindset. Because, like, growing up watching anime and stuff like that, I guess I always watched it by myself, and my personal enjoyment of this show will never be impacted by other people's opinions. That's why, like, I think there's such a sheep mentality of people who are constantly being told, like, they need to be told, am I watching the right show? Like some people genuinely can't make up their own opinion, and they need others, like dumb influencers myself, to say, oh yeah, this is the anime to watch. Like, why can't you just check it out for yourself and ask yourself, did you enjoy it or not? If you did, great. If you didn't, then no. But like random fandoms communities, they should have no like overlap with my personal enjoyment of the show. It doesn't have any of that. But some people, it's connected. They have to be like, they need to be like affirmed by like a greater community that their actions are correct. I just don't get that behavior.
My Hero Academia and Spy X Family for me are like prime examples of this, and I don't even need to explain like why the My Hero Academia like
if Deku and if a bunch of like BL lovers are shipping, you know, MHA characters, like, go for it. But if I've watched MHA and I found it hype, are those random shipping gonna ruin my experience and opinion of the show? No, I'm probably gonna think that there's some weird motherfuckers in the fandom doing some weird shipping things. But from my experience from watching the anime episodes, they were really hype and I enjoyed it. And then I can kind of like separate the two. Why does it need to be connected?
community is weird as hell. Like, I'm pretty sure we all know why. Like, we had Deku sexuals back then. Like,
Oh, yeah. I think sister leveling is also a perfect example of that, where vast majority of people, they can watch sister leveling and they can enjoy the wild fucking remarks regarding Jinmu and Jinna, the incest leveling, right? Blah, 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 all stuff like that. But they can also then separate that from the original solo leveling and appreciate that too. But some people whose entire personality is solo leveling, as their profile pictures are only Sung Jinmu, and we've seen plenty of peoples like this, not just in solo leveling, you know, random Twitter profiles, but let's say Mushoku Tensei and so on, where they are the most sensitive pussies. It's like an anime abridged is making them lose their fucking minds, and they constantly cry on Twitter and needs to have like therapy sessions with their mutuals online about, oh, sister leveling is trash. I can't believe a sister leveling is not the soul leveling. Or losing aura, guys. I can't believe they're doing this. I can't believe YouTubers would react to this. Oh, this is the most evil of all things. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? How does other people's experience and other people's even abridged versions of your show make it such that you can't even appreciate the original anymore? Like that's the thing. People are so fucking weak in their minds. They're so sensitive and they're so weak. They constantly need to be affirmed by others' opinions. And like, if you can't appreciate something, just like a standalone the material, the anime itself, and separate it from the other, you know, fan content like a bridge series, like, you are such a fucking loser. That is genuinely the biggest sign that you are a pussy, that you lack the mental fortitude to be like, you are being traumatized by anime abridged. I want you to understand how stupid that is.
Are we serious? Deku, stick it in my ass! Like, what? Like, ah! So, like, yeah, I don't care how good My Hero Academia is. It could be the best anime of all time. I refuse to watch that. Now, with Spy...
Why? Because a bunch of fucking losers on Reddit and Twitter are making weird fucking ships? Why? Why do their opinions matter to you? You should watch the episodes, enjoy it and figure out for yourself, and then decide for yourself, am I gonna watch it or not? What other people are crying online has nothing to do with their personal enjoyment of a show. How could they possibly influence your perspective of the show without even giving it a try?
X Family, I've actually heard it's a pretty good anime, has a good story, all this other stuff. I refuse to ever watch it. And the reason why is because the fandom has this weird obsession in sexualizing Anya, who...
That is a crazy tweet. That even by Lolicall standards, there are layers to this tweet. Because it's a self-admitted Lolicon saying Anya is a 6 out of 10. What the fuck? That's wild.
Anya, who, for those of you who don't know who that is, she is a baby. She is a literal toddler in the show. Like,
Leave her alone.
Hell no, man. You guys are just weird, bro.
But it's not what the show is about. Yeah, those tweets are fucking weird, absolutely. The people that engage in that behavior, lock him up. But Spy Family, I think, is a fantastic show. I was able to watch season 1, had to drop it because of performance issues. But again, like, what other people's retardation should not impact your personal enjoyment of a show. Like, why does that matter?
This is what I mean. Like, this is what I'm trying to say, is that some fandoms can just ruin a perfectly innocent, well-natured show. And that right...
Ruin it? Is everyone doing that? For the most part, when I hear about Spy Family, like, I never hear stuff about this. For the most part, I see wholesome memes and art about just family PG-13 wholesome content. I feel like I've never seen Spy Family content like this. But even if it exists, so what? Like again, it is such an outlier. It's such a tiny mentally ill schizo part of what you could even call them, like a part of a fandom. They don't matter. And like, that shouldn't impact you.
Right there, I think, is a huge issue in a lot of anime fandoms or fan bases. It's the fact that a lot of manga, manhwa, and anime fan bases are purely run off of sexualization. Like,
yeah, sex definitely sells. Absolutely. I don't know about purely, but it's a significant part of the whole anime just enjoyment. Like, fan service definitely exists in pretty much every show. Sex sells, obviously, but that's not specific to anime.
Like, most fan bases never talk about, like, cool Easter eggs, epic fight scenes, interesting plot points, leaks, their favorite characters. No, most anime fan bases are just, like, people saying freaky stuff like, yo, Imagine these two characters barebacking one another. Like, what the fuck? Like, instead of fan bases coming up with cool topics of conversation, like, guys,
Like, these are just offhanded comments being made without any source or being able to, you know, extrapolate data on a greater scale. So it's really hard to say, like, this is reality. You know what I mean? But I feel like this person's viewpoint on this, their experience, is not reality. You know what I mean? I feel like we're really building a mountain out of a molehill right now. I personally haven't seen this kind of behavior. Like, but first of all, I don't even go and participate in fandoms, right? I'm too busy, I guess, creating my own fandom or just creating content. But back in the day of when I used to go visit, you know, specific episode threads or try to find like an anime sub thread and just kind of read what they're about, most of them aren't doing shit like this. Now, things could have changed a lot since then. What I definitely have seen recently on Twitter specifically is such an increase in horny posting. Such an increase in just absolutely down bad horny posting, because those kind of tweets will get traction, right? You see the most offhanded comments just being absolutely down bad, you know, about a specific, you know, trending anime. And suddenly that tweet will go absolutely viral, right? When Capella showed up in Re:Zero Season 3, so many people basically were just typing the most horrendous down bad shit, trying to basically go viral. Are they posting it because they're down bad? Yeah. But I think a bigger part of that is, you know, just social media and engagement, right? Where they see that posting stuff like this gets me a lot of clicks and therefore I want to do it.
imagine if Naruto fought Ichigo. Who do you think would win? You're never gonna get that. Instead, what you're gonna get is some weirdo being like, yo, guys, I got an idea, man. Rock Lee tongue fucking Naruto. Like, dude, why? Like, bro, I don't want to think about that stuff, man. Keep that to yourself. And look, to be honest with you, I would low-key get all this, like, romance shipping, all this, my headcanon ship, all that other stuff, if it was like an anime that was, like, revolving around shipping and romance. Like, Ouran High School Host Club, Kaguya-sama Love is War. Like, I would get those animes.
Sure.
But why is it that most of these freaky ass, like, headcanon shippers are always in fan bases that have, like, almost nothing to do with romance? Like, Jujutsu Kaisen has that issue right now. Like,
Does
that
it?
show, for real, has literally negative romance in the entire manga and anime.
That's probably why their shippers exist there then. Because there is lack of anything canon, people want something to exist, therefore they're gonna go and push for it even more.
Yet people still watch that show and go, yeah, Gojo and Geto were.
Well, here's the thing about Jujutsu Kaisen, right? If you think about the character appeal of that show, there's not many girls that are sexualized, right? Like, if you look at the other battle shonens and other shows like that, there's a lot of big booba girls, just fan service around, you know? Like, look for Bleach, Yoruichi, Rangiku, and so on, right? Jujutsu Kaisen, it's kind of the opposite. In fact, they make the male character very appealing, you know? Like Nobara Maki, with Mei, yeah, but most of them, like Jujutsu Kaisen has a lot of strong female leads, but they're not like that dainty or like, you know, that super bimbo type, you know, fan service that you see in other animes. JJK, I think, has a bunch of sexy male characters that appeals to a lot of women who loves BL, who go on to make art like this, right? This isn't your random, like, teenager kids saying, oh my god, anime booba. It's more of just, you know, BL enjoyers, the yaoi enjoyers, like, oh my god, Gojo Geto, yes.
Versus cowgirl. Like, why? Like, in a show with literally all action, no romance, people will still, like, show pictures of them rubbing period blood all over their Gojo figurine. Like, dude, you
That's insane.
actually need some help for real. Look, to be honest with you, I can get.
And that goes to show that, guys, it's not just guys that's horny, okay? Girls are just as down bad and does some of the craziest shit possible, bro.
Get people's, like, viewpoints on this, because, like, at the end of the day, this really is not as deep as it really is. And, like, to be honest with you, I don't think headcanons and shipping characters is really all that bad in a sense. But I do feel like some of these ships start getting into really dangerous territories.
Yeah. Like, shipping Gojo and Geto, who is that hurting? I don't care. that's not going to impact my experience of watching JJK. Here's when it does get weird. When you ship Endeavor and one of the girls in MHA, who is not an adult, what the fuck is that all about? See, okay, those ships are really fucking weird. At that point, I can be like, okay, what the hell kind of behavior are we doing right now?
Like Eri and Mirio.
I don't even know. I don't even want to know. I don't want to know what the hell is happening here.
I thought that was weird as hell. Because, like, that is a toddler that you are sexualizing and shipping with a grown-ass man. Like, that is just weird, dude. Like, I can let all these other harmless ships slip by, but you are, like, actively promoting pedophilia, and that is gross and weird.
Yeah, and at that point, if that becomes the norm, and the majority of that fandom is of that mindset, at that point, I can actually be like, you know what? I don't even want to watch the anime. Because now, that community, that fandom, if the majority is behaving like that, you just basically just brand it as a PDF. Fuck that.
Speaking on that, I do feel like it is important to bring up this next topic of anime fan bases, which is their obsession with turning two straight characters into being gay. Now, let me be clear in saying that I literally have no issues with there being gay relations and romance in shows in manga and manhwa, and I'll even say that I don't think there's anything wrong in people shipping two guys or two girls together with a character that has not been canonically confirmed to be straight. Now, what I do think is weird, though, is when people take two canonically confirmed straight characters and make them gay. Like,
I don't think that's a big deal. Let them have their own fan fictions. It's a bunch of starved BL enjoyers, yaoi enjoyers that want to just do a bunch of, you know, just changing, you know, a bunch of bending of the straights. Like that again, I think this is harmless behavior.
I'm sorry, I just think it's kind of weird. Like, you see this in Arcane.
Yeah, you can definitely see that as weird, but this isn't like listen, when you are doing those weird ass ships in MHA, with the very, very questionable age differences, fuck that. That's weird, okay? That's beyond weird. Stuff like this, though, you want to turn a bunch of straight characters into gay characters because you want some sort of representation, because you're down bad for BL content, like, go ahead. Like, I don't care. You do whatever you want.
Kane and My Hero Academia all the time, where Deku and Bakugo are like confirmed straight characters now. Like, he got with Uraraka, right? You know what I mean? But people in the fan base are still adamant that like Deku is gay, even though he is literally straight in the fucking manga. It's the same thing with Arcane. Jace literally in the show lays down massive pipe on Mel throughout the show, yet people are still convinced that Jace and Victor are gay as hell, even though they're not. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys will be saying, dude, L-Take, you're wrong, this, and that.
No. Again, like, it's not about L-Take, Dub-Take. Listen. Do whatever the fuck you want, but this again isn't going to this shouldn't like ruin your anime experience, right? A bunch of people going out and saying, no, Jace lays pipe on Victor secretly at night after Mel is sleeping. I hear that and I go, you know what? Kind of funny, maybe true, bro. In fact, I'll add on top of that and say maybe Jace is the bottom, man. You never know. And we could have some fun with that. Is that gonna ruin my experience of Arcane though? No, this is just silly.
And look, try to look at it like this. I don't think it would be okay for someone to ship a gay character with a straight character.
I think it's fine. Listen, if it's okay, again, it's all about, I guess it's about consistency here, right? Like a principle stance. You know, the whole topic about whitewashing and blackwashing characters before in like the Twitter art stuff. If a bunch of people are going to start, you know, changing heterosexual characters into homosexual ships, go for it. The inverse should also be possible. Is it going to hurt anybody? No, I think it's funny.
Because that is not how they are canonically sexually identified. You know what I mean?
But like, here's the thing. Why are we getting so upset about fictional characters' canon sexuality? Like, what does this matter? That's what I want to know. Because like, the moment that you start doing fan art and shipping other characters like that, immediately that shit is exclusive from the actual, like, you know, anime material or the canon material. I just think that you're just doing your own headcanon fan service stuff. Go ahead and have fun. But like, That's a 2D character's canon sexuality being warped by other people. Should that impact your enjoyability, right? Your experience in watching those shows? I don't think it should, right?
Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable in seeing Vi shipped with, like, Victor, and I wouldn't feel comfortable seeing Caitlyn shipped with Jace because they're both gay. You can't just do that, man. I just feel like it's really fucking weird. Like, don't.
Is it weird? Because we're not respecting the sexuality of those characters? Hold up. I never thought about it in this way because obviously they're not real people. So I never thought about, am I overstepping my bounds and being rude and basically destroying that character's, you know, like, what are we doing right? They're not real. But like, if they were real, how would you feel, right? How would you feel if some other people are like representing you in a different way? Like, for example, okay, I don't know where I'm going. I'm real, right? And let's say another dude is also real in the YouTube space during anime reactions. I'm not gonna name a name because this is gonna get really weird if I name a name. But I'm real, and there's also another male anime reaction person who is real, who are both heterosexual. And then someone did fan art of us fucking. And now you are creating a gay ship that contradicts the canon material. And now because we are real, we are being done dirty. It's rude to us. Does that make sense? I'm trying to take this example and what are we doing right now? What are we doing right now? But going back to the original example, I don't think it still matters, right? Like, who's getting hurt doing this? It's somehow changing canon heterosexual people, straight people, or gay people into the inverse. Is that just like ruining stuff? Is that like harming people? Is this hate speech? I don't think so, right? Where the fuck are we going with this?
Don't make straight ships with canonically gay characters, and don't make gay ships with canonically straight characters. I really don't think that is that crazy of a statement to make. And like,
I don't think it's crazy, right? If that's the way that you want to live in that viewpoint, like, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think rather than what is okay or not, it should be more about consistency. If you think that it's okay to make canonically gay characters into straight ships and vice versa, like what I'm trying to say is, like, if you can do it to them, they should be able to do it to you, right? As in, like, straight to gay, gay to gay, straight. And if you're not going to allow that at all, then don't touch either.
Like, another issue that I have with all of these fan bases that are fueled just off of sexualizing their characters in the show is that, like, when the actual author and creator of these shows and mangas, like, make a character straight, they, like, attack this dude. Like, when the My Hero Academia author made Deku, like...
I have seen this kind of behavior a lot in Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact. A lot of gacha games, right?
Get with Uraraka.
I remember when Robin was released. Does anybody remember the Robin banner and the crazy batshit insanity that happened of people being like, oh my god, due to the specific color palette of her makeup, she's actually trans or lesbian? And other people like, nah, bro, she's straight. And people were fucking losing their minds about the sexuality of this fucking gacha character.
Which was like hinted at for years, by the way. Dude, everyone in the My Hero Academia fandom lost their shit. They were sending this dude death threats. They were saying that the author was wrong and that they were...
The author is wrong is one of my favorite comments, bro. The author didn't know what he's talking about, bro. Nah. Oh yeah? Yo, for sure. You know what's best for the show, not the author.
Never supposed to be straight. They were always meant to be gay, and it was just like so bizarre. I saw videos of people like crying over this. Like, it was crazy.
Well, here it is, bro. What I tell you, it's a bunch of fucking girls. Nothing wrong with girls enjoying anime, but it's a bunch of girls that really want the BL, the yaoi ships, and they delude them. They twist the reality into believing that, oh, they're secretly gay for each other. And then once the author comes out and states that, hey, none of that happening here, they cry. They lose their minds. This can't be real, though. I feel like this gotta be fake, right? This gotta be staged, right? Surely this is a sarcastic TikTok being made to make fun of the people that would actually behave like this, right? Her friend's face.
Girl, they're drawings.
They are drawings. She's right. This is the mentality people need to adopt. They're just drawings. They're not real. And listen, you can still have fun shipping your gay ships and MHA all you want. Go ahead. But you shouldn't start crying, bro. Like, it's just drawings.
Baby girl, they're drawings.
Like, I don't want to sound rude or anything when I say this, but like, you need a job, dude. Like, for real. Now, I've talked about this issue before, and what people have said to me is that headcanon shipping and gay shipping is a essential part of every single fandom. You can't have a fan base or fandom of any show without sexualization of their characters.
That is kind of why Rule 34 also exists, right? No matter what, there will always be people that will lewd content because sexuality is just a core nature of the human being. This is just an objective fact. It just exists and we have to deal with it.
And when I heard that, I just thought that was like one of the most ridiculous statements I've ever heard in my...
It might sound ridiculous to you, but this is the objective truth. It's just a fundamental law of reality. Human beings are just biologically programmed to reproduce. It is a subconscious that exists in our mind. And whenever you watch certain characters, there's going to be a little thought in the back of your mind saying, are they dating? Could they have a potential future together? Stuff like that. I don't think this is such a ridiculous claim. Like, this is just an objective fact. It exists in our world.
Entire life, because like, if you believe that a fan base needs to be a fan base by over-sexualizing their character...
No. We're not talking about over-sexualizing. We're talking about that sexualized nature being present. We're not talking about the only thing being present is a sexualization.
...characters, then you're just like a hypersexual freaky dude, and...
This is a very nuanced take right now where the Asian guy is basically saying, his take right now is that the sexualization part is the most important thing. Not the most important thing, but like in that take of a fandom where the sexualization exists, he's taking it to the extreme end and saying the entire fandom only exists because of the gooning content. Which is something that I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this mentality, this mindset, right, of shipping or thinking about fan service or that just like the sexual nature, right, of, you know, themes in the story, it just exists. And there's a spectrum of how much it exists.
And you need to stop gooning. Because like, there are so many ways that you can enjoy a show and be a part of a fan base without over-sexualizing the characters.
Yeah.
Cosplay, fan art, talking about matchups, leaks, like theories of like how the show is going to go.
Yeah.
There are so many things that you could be talking about when it comes to a fan base in a show.
True.
Yet most people don't decide to do that, and instead they decide to make just like freaky fan art, you know, porn, hentai, all this other like sexual shit.
Again, if you don't have data on a greater scale showing every different fandoms, different subreddits, whatever, share spaces, and do a ratio of how much of percentage of content is that sexualized stuff versus non, like we're just talking out the ass right now, you know? There's no data. It's all just feelings and vibes right now. In my personal experience, that has never been the case. No fandom has been overly just gooning content only and only. Do I see stuff like that go viral? Absolutely. Mostly on Twitter. But I feel like this is not my reality.
And I would even argue that fandoms that are purely run off of over-sexualizing their characters actually hurt their community. Because like, you guys gotta understand this. With anime being as popular as it is, you're gonna get a lot more casual viewers watching anime. So hey guys, editor Eli here, and as I was editing this video, I learned that the last 4 minutes of this video were corrupted. I lost the file, the video stopped working. So I'm just gonna finish the rest of this video in a
Alright.
different shirt because I can. When you have all these casual viewers who are coming in to watch an anime for the first time ever,
Yeah, do you want to show them gushing over magical girls? How do you explain to them why this teenager girl isn't... I don't want to even describe it. It's hard. It's hard to get a bunch of new normie people involved when you have animes going popular like gushing over magical girls. Now, that's not the only anime that exists. You can clearly recommend them different animes. But the point that I'm trying to make right now is, yes, there is a lot of degenerate fan service content that exists in anime. And if your entire makeup, the community, and the content is just gooning stuff, the normies coming in, they're going to be like, what the fuck is that? Now, then comes the other topic. Do we need to cater around the tourists? Does that make sense? Why should we bend to the whims of a bunch of fucking normies showing up and cater towards all their needs? Sometimes a bit of gatekeeping is actually pretty good. There needs to be a decent balance between the two, so that the identity, the original identity of what makes anime anime and the greater anime community doesn't just get twisted and washed into something different.
they're wondering things like, oh, this character is cool. What's the lore behind this? I want to know about the world setting around this show and anime. That's what they want to learn about. So when they want to learn about this stuff and they go into these anime fandoms community and they're trying to learn about Easter eggs, lore, and all this other stuff about their favorite characters, what they don't want to see is like their favorite character's butthole, man. No one wants to see that.
I would argue that some people actually may want to see that. Like, this is a very Puritan take from the angry Asian guy. Because as much as he hates this kind of content, why do you think it exists and does well? Because a lot of people actually do enjoy this stuff too. I'm not talking about Deku and Bakugo. I'm talking about just like overall fan service and what you would call gooning content. I think a lot of people actually do enjoy that. So a bunch of new people coming in and they saw that it might actually get them more on board.
And then what will happen is that once they see this, they're gonna stop watching the show because they're like, oh, these people are weird and I don't want to associate with this community. Now, also, I do recognize that not every fandom 24/7 is just like freaky stuff. I understand that. I for sure know about all the anime edits. I know about, all the cosplay, all the lore, all like the potential fight matches and stuff. I recognize that that stuff happens. But my issue is that it doesn't happen enough and it is not a majority of what anime fandoms are even discussing anymore. Like,
Is that true? Is that the absolute truth? Because again, this is literally just vibes and feelings. The take right now is that majority of anime fandoms are just drowned by gooning content compared to the other stuff of actual discussion. And that I have no clue about.
most people in anime fandoms now are just a bunch of freaked out gooners hoping to see their favorite character's scrotum get played with, and it's just really weird. To be honest with you, it's just extremely jarring because, like, you don't see this in other.
Is this what counts as shadowboxing? You know that video that we watched? I forget which one it was, but it basically was like this, basically describing all these different types of things that you do on Twitter and stuff like that. And basically, you know the notion of like, oh, I like pancakes, you don't like waffles. That's basically just taking one thing and just saying something entirely different, just start shit. But there's also like the concept of like shadowboxing, right? Where you're making shit up. You have an agenda in the back of your mind. You want to shit on anime weebs that just are too horny goddamn on social media. Therefore, you create a false narrative in a reality where the majority of anime fandoms and communities only talk about this, and then you go on a rant. Yeah, you're literally just making shit up to just go on a fucking rant. I just want to know if this is the truth or not.
Like nerd communities. Like, I rarely see this kind of freaky stuff with Marvel, DC Comics, and Star Wars fandoms. It's mostly with anime. And to be honest with you, I think the
Why does that happen? I think it's just the conflict between Eastern versus Western values, the culture surrounding anime versus, let's say, comic books. Fan service definitely does exist in that comic book space, but not to the same degree or even close to anime. Therefore, I think that you see a lot more of it. It's not as if they don't exist in comic book stuff, but I believe that anime fan service probably there's a lot more of that stuff than comic books.
The reason for why that is because traditionally Japanese anime has this weird obsession with fan service and perversion, and to be honest, I've always thought that was kind of weird, and I honestly do believe that that is what contributes to a lot of these fan bases communities towards anime being extremely freaked out and gooners. But
there is partial truth there though, right? And this is the stuff that I talked about, how we often just take a blind eye to, where there is, compared to other mediums of shows, I think that the sexualization and the fan service is a lot more apparent in anime. And that's just the culture surrounding that medium. And I decided, and you know, we could just have some laughs around it too. But for sure, like a girl just tripping down the stairs and her panties just, you know, flashing, and you don't really see that in regular cartoons, right?
I think that's like an entirely different discussion in and of itself. But like my main point still stands in the fact that why is it so hard for so many anime fandom communities to just be normal? Because like in the Star Wars fandom, they're talking about cool stuff like lightsabers and all that. And then we go to like the JJ gay community and they're talking about the girth of Yuji's penis. Like, dude, what the heck? My other issue with the anime community is like how condescending these guys can be. Like any of these people that have read the manga or read the light novel to completion always like talk to people that haven't finished it yet like pieces of human trash.
Yeah, because they got nothing better to do with their lives. They're absolute losers of society. They've never accomplished anything. So by going ahead and reading the source material, now you can act as a prophet and look down on others who have not read as much as you have, because that's the only thing they can, you know, flex on others. This is the truth.
Some of these dudes for real look at us like we're a dirty condom on the street and they're just like, huh, you thought that moment was crazy?
Yeah. Bro, you ain't got no clue. Bro ain't ready. Oh, you thought you saw Solo Leveling Season 2 Episode 6 was sick? You ain't no clue. You got no clue about Jeju Island, bro. Oh, you don't know when the real ReZero episode starts, bro. I'm like 18 episodes deep. Motherfucker still saying the real ReZero hasn't even started yet. Yeah, there's a lot of people again who it comes from a place of passion, right? They love the show, but here's the thing, like I think a lot of people that, and I'm just about to lay some straight facts, all right? If your feelings get hurt by this, it's because I'm speaking the truth. I think a lot of people that watches anime, read manga and light novels and stuff like that are quite socially inept. I think they're social outcasts. I don't think that they're really relatable or have any fulfilling relationships in real life. They may be bullied in real life, and they find, you know, this kind of community and fandom to basically find a safe space and shelter in. And because they lack any friendships and stuff like that, they, you know, make online friends and, you know, interact with the fandoms and communities, and they want to feel clout. They want to feel important. They never accomplish anything. They don't have anything going for them. So they make their entire personality about that specific existing fandom. They go on to read ahead of the manga, the light novel, and source material. They want to feel important. They want to make friends, but somehow, some way, it comes out in the worst way possible. And they start to gatekeep, and they start to, you know, basically do the things that were done to them in the past. Where now you're the one, you know, kind of bullying. You're the one calling other people out and saying and trying to be like an elitist asshole, right? It's a very interesting psychology, I think, of people repeating the type of negative behavior that they were inflicted upon. It doesn't need to be that deep. It really doesn't. At the end of the day, people just want to flex on others. And one of the easiest way to do that is to read ahead in these mangas and animes, right? Just read ahead of the source material and act all important, bro.
Wait till you see the next arc. Like, bro, who are you? What are you acting so cocky for, bro? You think it's impressive that you read something? Like, what are you talking about? These people want a gold star or some shit for reading something. Like, congratulations, buddy! You have eyes! Like, get the hell out of here. You're also
It's like that competitive nature that exists in human beings and want to feel important and ahead of other people. Like, if you're gonna read ahead and like, light novel readers and manga readers, what they should be doing is encouraging the anime onlys and brand new people and hyping them up, making them excited. But it just always comes out in the most elitist gatekeeping way instead, you know? Like, rather than saying like, oh, you got no fucking clue. Like, I remember doing like a Blue Lock reaction in the first season, and there was like a pretty hype episode, and it was a really enjoyable episode. It was really hype. And I remember a TikTok comment saying, Lil bro was getting excited at tutorial bullshit. He ain't got no crew, laughing, crying emoji. And I read that and I'm like, wow, you've read the manga. Congratulations. And now you're saying the stuff that happens later on is way more exciting. Therefore, me popping off at the earlier phases of Blue Lock is pretty much meaningless. Like, what the fuck is that mindset? Rather than saying it like that, shouldn't you be like, man, that scene was sick, huh? Yeah, that was a pretty hype scene. And guess what? The future arcs, bro, it's gonna be even better. See how it's like a different way of like encouraging and trying to support and hype stuff up to all enjoy it together? But us monkeys, human beings, bro, we're not capable of doing that. Just a bunch of salty motherfuckers that just has to stick up their ass and want to feel important and flex onto others to feel self-important, man, and nothing's gonna change.
Huge gatekeepers too. It's like, well, the light novel is better. These like dumb anime fans trying to come into the community trying to enjoy it. Bro, it's meant to be enjoyed, man. Why are you being such an asshole? Now, I do have to say that, like, also Marvel, DC, and, like, Star Wars fans can be like this. But for some reason, I don't notice it as much, and I notice it way more with anime community fans. And I'm just gonna end this video off by saying this. A fandom and a fan base is not defined by your headcanons or your romantic ships, and it never has, and it never will be. The show's fan base and community are run off the fucking show. Like, people are a part of these communities because they like the show, the manga, the manhwa, or the light novel. It was never because of, oh, I want to see these two characters having intercourse. No, it was never about that. And these people that are trying to say that it was always about that are just trying to justify that their brain isn't already infected with all this sexual, weird, freaky energy already. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to brainwash everybody into thinking that all fan bases were all like this. And it just couldn't be further from the
I've never seen people trying to do a psyop of brainwashing others and stuff like that. Well, I think the funniest thing right now is just me watching at his glasses and fogging up. I love how the glasses are fogging up as he goes on this passionate rant because it's so hot.
the truth. People are a part of these communities and fan bases because they like the content. They want to explore the content. They like the plot of the content. They like everything about the content, and they want to talk about it with other people that
Sure.
also enjoy it. They don't want to talk about your freaky, weird fantasies that no
But who is saying that though? Listen to this part right here.
people that also enjoy it. They don't want to talk about
They don't want to talk about it? But then why are there so many sexualized content being talked about it though? Like, I feel like at a certain point you have to acknowledge the fact that that side of the audience exists. And a lot of people do enjoy the horny posting and the gooning content. Clearly the numbers show that they do want to talk about it. You specifically may not want that because you hate that side of the fandom. But this is just objective reality that, like, this exists and a bunch of people enjoy it. And I think that they can definitely have a healthy portion in the fandom to kind of, like, you know, exist together with, just coexist in peace.
your freaky, weird fantasies that nobody asked you to share with anyone. So stop being weird, stop being freaky, and let people enjoy the content for what it is. The show's content. But anyways, guys, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you like this video,
I don't understand the notion in the beginning about how a fandom can ruin your experience of an anime. Because to me personally, and this is a personal, you know, perspective, whenever I watch stuff, I don't go out and try to seek out other, like, group chats or fandoms and communities and look at their opinion and see if that aligns with mine. Like, sometimes I'll go to like an episode thread just to see what people are talking about, but even if they were all wilding out and just fucking oiling up and having a Diddy party, it wouldn't impact my enjoyment of the show. What I watched and how my experience with that show is unique to me. And other people, they should never impact your experience of something. You can then go and talk to other people about different story points and, you know, have conversation discussions about it. But that should not impact your overall enjoyment of a show. So again, if you're letting other people online, like, ruin your experience of something, you gotta really take a look at yourself and wonder, maybe you're just a fucking pussy in the head. The other stuff about the over-sexualized content in the fandoms, again, There's no statistics. There's no like analysis being here done. We're just going all off of vibes and feelings. And he's basically making the claim that the majority of fandoms in the anime community are all just gooning content and it's just so bad and toxic. I don't engage in these different fandoms, so I have no clue. Maybe you guys would. So that's why it just feels like he had like an agenda. He clearly fucking hates sexualized content. He is on No Nut November for the 3rd year in a row, as in like every month is No Nut November. He's a Puritan. He is just anti-goon, and anything that's sexualized, he absolutely fucking hates it. And there's nothing wrong with that. You live the way that you want to live. But is the reality that he's talking truly the reality? Sometimes I feel like people have basically they see isolated incidences. Rather than understanding, is this the true majority? They see isolated incidences and then tries to portray that as their reality and then go off to make a rant about it because they have their own narrative they want to push. Perfectly fine. It's just that I just don't think this is the reality for me. You know what I mean? Like nothing wrong with going off and popping off like this, but it just irks me that his viewpoint is so different. His perspective and reality is so different from what I've experienced that I can't really take his commentary that seriously, you know? A lot of people here. A lot of comments that there's not really much talking about, you know, the actual current existence of the community, but ships, I don't think ships are really hurting anybody. And that's pretty much it. I got nothing really to say. Please go check out his Angry Asian Guy's channel. I mean that's his brand, right? The Angry Asian. Are you guys surprised that he's being angry while being Asian? Here's the link to his channel. Please go give the video a like and sub to him if you want. I'll see you next time.